First of all, what is a component in Figma? Component is some frame that has properties, color, size, some settings, and if you make copies of this frame, the duplicates have the same color, size and the others. It's obvious. The difference between component with its duplicates and just a regular object, a regular frame with its copies is that if you change some property of the component, for example, its color, its fill, its size, its copies will apply all these changes as well. And how do we use it? For example, you made a typo and want to change the text at all your banners. And for example, you create Google banners, there are 36 images. If you don't use components, you have to correct this typo at every single banner, so 36 times. And then you want to change some word, to use a synonym or just to change the text, so you have to do it again. And if you use components, you can set it once and then reuse it multiple times at all your banners, and after that, if you make a change into your component, it will be applied to all the copies. And for example, you want to create a new set of banners. For example, you want to make A/B testing and you want to A/B test, let's say, the text of your banners. So you create a new file, for example, and you just change the text and everything else is set. Or you want to change background or image at your banners. Or the text of your button. You copy, you change it once and all your banners are set. So actually you create a set of banners for A/B testing maybe in 5 seconds sometimes. So you just have to change the text or whatever you want to change and download all your banners. That's it. And now we will go and see how this works on practice, from more simple components to more complex. Let's go to the page that is named Figma components over here. And here we have some components. Okay. What do we have? Actually, we have 2 ellipses. And let's copy them. Okay, and let's make a component from one of it. Okay, there is some text explaining how this works. I will create a component over here. To do this, you can click this icon, create component. You can right-click the object and find where is create component. Or use a shortcut. So what changed? As you see, this is an ellipse, it has this icon, and when I created a component, ellipse went inside the frame. So component is always a frame. And this frame has this specific icon and purple color. All its copies have purple color as well. So now if we make some duplicates, I copy paste this. This copy has this icon. All the duplicates will have the same icon. So obviously, if I have just 2 ellipses over here, 2 circles, if I change color of this one, it won't affect anything. But if I change a color of this one, all its copies will apply this color as well. Okay, so we can change different things. For example, we can leave this one as it is. Okay, let's make another component here. So we have the one copy. Oops. Okay, now we have this copy and we will paste it a couple more times. Here, here. Okay, I select this one. Sometimes when you have a lot of components, it becomes working a little slower, but still works. Okay, let's leave the first one just as it is and change something in this. I will make it bigger. I will make this one orange. I will make this one semi-transparent. And I will drop a shadow from this one. Let's make it more visible. Okay, something like this. And now I will change the initial component and see how these changes are applied over here. First of all, I will change the color of my ellipse and see all its copies change their colors except this one, the orange one, because if I change some property of the copy of the component, I tell to Figma, hey, I want this to be a copy of a component, but I want to change something. And if I change this thing in the initial component, in the original component, it won't be applied here. But not all of them. For example, if I change the size, you see the big one is changing as well, but it still is bigger than all the other copies. If I make it almost transparent, it applies to all except the orange again. For example, I will apply some effect over here. Let's say it will be shadow again. I will make it red, 100%, 20, 20. As you see, it was applied to all the copies except this one because it has already its own shadow. So, as you understand, there is a lot of space to create different things with all these components, and you can even change some properties, its colors and shape or whatever. Let's make some text component. I'll just copy paste this text and I'll make it component. And then I make some duplicates. Now I will move this here and do the same thing I showed to you before. I will arrange all these copies and now vertically using spacing. Okay, I set it 250. As you see, this is a frame as well. So if I want to change text color, I have to go inside the frame and select its text layer. In this case, I can change the color to whatever I want. But if I change the fill option of the frame itself, obviously the frame becomes white. Okay, I will make it invisible again. And now I can change some things over here. For example, I will change the font size. I will change the font itself. Let's set it to something else. Okay, I don't like this. This is pretty similar. Let's say it will be this one, or even, oops, do we have Times New Roman in Figma? Yes, so it will look different. Okay, I will change the color. And so on. And as you understand, if I change all these properties over here, some of them will be changed in their copies. Again, I remind you that you can use this selection color option to change the color not going inside the frame. So I select its whole frame and I understand that the color belongs to the text, and I can change it not going deeper. Okay, so I can change color, I can scale the frame. As you understand, everything is getting bigger except this frame that I changed already, where I changed the size already. So the text works almost the same as anything else, except we don't use fill option here. So text works like everything else. And there is another option that we should be aware of when we speak about text components. When you create the text component, you should look at which options is set here, outer width, outer height, or whatever. Because when you change the text, if, for example, let's create some copy and we will write another text. As you see, because of the fixed height, everything goes like this. If I use this, it's much better. And there is one more important thing when you work with the text components. It's a good practice to use auto layout, because when you change some text, I will create a new component and I will use auto layout over here. For example, I want to create some logo and to use auto layout there. Okay, and let's combine this into logo using auto layout, and let's combine this into logo using auto layout. And now what happens if I want to change this text? You see? And what happens if I want to change this text? Okay, so I think you see the difference, because this component uses auto layout, so the component itself changes its size after the text. And here in this case, the text is changing. As you see, the text has this big width, but the component has the same width as it was before, because it doesn't have auto layout, it doesn't follow the text. So that's why auto layout is so important in Figma. Let's apply it here, and as we see, everything becomes much better. So these are the most basic things about the components, and we will move on and see how to use them in more complicated ways.